Hello, everybody. Welcome. I have a special guest here today. I have Tanya here with me today, and she's going to share a little bit about her journey, her transformation, why she wanted to make a change, even though everybody was kind of set against her doing it, and where she is now. We finished coaching together, like what, 3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing this after the fact, and she's here to share us. So I want a big welcome for Tanya. Tanya, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm Tanya Richardson. I am a PSW for 20 years now. Same location at Sprucedale Care Center. I've been married for 25 years to Cricket. A lot of people in town know who he is. My daughter's 21, and I turned 50 in August, and I reached out to Cindy because I had hit menopause. I started gaining some weight. I've always been a pretty tiny person, and there's a lot of changes going on in my life. Uh, I wasn't feeling mentally well, and physically things were changing rapidly. Um, and I reached out to Cindy.
Yeah. So let's go back to that, right? Because I think that this is going to resonate with a lot of women is because you didn't necessarily have the support of your family to kind of, it's not that they weren't supportive, it was just like they didn't really understand why it was that you felt compelled to make a change and why you just didn't feel good. There was a couple of things at play. One is you were turning 50. So there was
Mhm.
something about 50 that you said, I had stuff to accomplish. I had stuff to leave behind. I wanted to be a good role model for my daughter, Leah. There was a couple of factors there. But like explain, because people were looking at you and saying like, hey, you don't have any weight to lose. I wish I looked like you. But you weren't feeling good on the inside. So can you kind of walk us through that?
So I'll try. Um, I did. I felt like this big black hole was coming to get me when I turned 50. And I see people declining around me, people getting sick. I wanted to do better. I wanted to be better. Um, I did want to set an impression and leave good goals and values for my daughter. Uh, People in my family and outside my family totally did not understand what I was going through. Um, it was a struggle, the changes in life that we went through, trying to persevere through that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Family quality time changed. No more ice cream, family outings, no more family dinners, sitting around the table eating pizza. People still question why I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm on the thinner side. Um, yeah,
Yeah. But the fact was that, hey, you didn't feel good on the inside. You people
right,
were always telling you you looked good, but that's not how you felt.
correct.
Yeah. And then you said, okay, well, actually circle back as well, because a lot of women like struggle putting themselves first. They feel guilty putting themselves first. So I can imagine, hey, you have all of these different people around you saying, you're crazy. Why do you need to do this? And then on top of the guilt. So can you walk through like, how do you get to a place where you're saying, hey, wait a minute, it's my turn to take care of me? How do you get there?
I think because of everything that I had struggled through, losing my dad and dealing with things on the side, losing my mother-in-law, like you had said, I wasn't feeling good and I didn't see how I was going to move forward. I couldn't see that next step if I was just mentally blocked, physically blocked, and it was consuming me. Um, I think a lot of our conversations had a big impact on that because, like you said, if I don't take care of me, how am I going to take care of everybody else? And that's so true. It's just so true. I don't have a regret, not one regret for what I've done. You
Yeah.
know, changing the grocery list, changing the habits. I don't regret it at all.
So how did that work? So because you didn't necessarily have a husband who was willing to eat differently.
I did. He was willing to eat differently because he likes everything. But I think because I was so focused on how much I needed to change, that was hard for me. I don't like fruits and vegetables.
She does
So,
not. She does not, guys. Eat
I
fruits.
do not. I do not. So that was hard. Like my husband will eat anything, but it's me. I really struggled with trying to get the nutrition down. I really struggled with that. So I think it became when I go to the grocery store, I'm buying for me, and everybody else kind of was put to the side. It was good for the fact that Leah had to start fending for herself and step up a little bit. Um, but I guess I put other people on the back burner while I was taking care of me.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But as a result of taking care of you, there's a couple of things that came from that. Is one, you were part of the inspiration for your daughter to change her habits and to start getting at the
Yes.
gym. And two, your husband potentially, who knows, right? It might be looking at some hip replacement and his mobility will be limited. And now you're in a position to kind of, you feel good about yourself. You're in a position to kind of take care.
Yes. And I think even though it didn't happen instantly or may not have happened yet, I think as the dominoes fall, I'm absolutely setting an impression that might change and alter that path
Yeah.
for people around
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
I think that's important because a lot of people wait for everybody to kind of like get on board, right? You didn't wait. You were like the rebel, I guess, in that case, right? Like, and then the other thing is that as a result of you doing that, you're now in a position to lead those others that are wanting to follow in your path or are inspired by you as well. So I think that that's important because not everybody, I guess not everybody sees themselves as the potential to lead and how that can influence other people around them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And a lot of people don't want to change. I know this is, I'm kind of going off topic here, but I had somebody the other day say to me, but are you really enjoying life? Because I've changed, the no sugars, the caffeine, my nutrition has changed. And they're like, yeah, but really, are you enjoying life? And I'm not here to push anything on anybody, but I just said, yeah, I am. I am in different ways. I don't feel sluggish anymore. My head is clear. So it's a balance of, where am I enjoying my life, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember that first call we had though, and there was a lot of doubt. And then the mindset pieces were fairly new for you as well. And I remember a lot of like connections, even in our calls subsequent to that, it was like, huh, you even said, can you record this call? Because I need to have that played back to me. Because like it was like you started to make connections in terms of how your mind is connected to that. So for someone to say like, hey, are you enjoying life? For that person, it's not to say that this is true, but for some people, it's like they're always have that hamster wheel of the same thoughts over and over and over. And they're not realizing how that causes more stress or how that causes more like mental cloudiness, for example, or impacts their emotional stuff. Whereas when
Hmm.
you're like, okay, I'm feeling good, I have energy, I'm like, I'm really clear about who I am with food, I'm really clear about who I am with my body, I'm really clear with my role in that family, there is something freeing about that,
Hmm.
right? Would you agree?
Hmm. I definitely agree. My 50th birthday party, I was amazed. I had one drink the whole time. I never thought I would be that person to, not have a few drinks, especially on such a big event that I was dreading. I can handle situations now without alcohol.
Oh, but instead you went and bought a sexy as fuck dress.
Born once.
That's okay, right? And it was because like you were like, I want to feel a certain way on my 50th birthday, and that was really
Yeah,
important to you.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so talk about I guess let's start with the nutrition side of things, right? Is like what did you learn about nutrition that you thought you were doing well on, but you weren't?
Honestly, I don't think I ever thought about nutrition
Okay.
in the past. Like maybe, but okay, that's not fair. I think that, maybe like eating the egg and nothing with it is an example
Mhm.
of what a breakfast would look like for me, right? I've now learned that, I'm eating carbs. I'm trying to get baby spinach in with my eggs in the morning. Um, it- my food intake. is huge. It's huge. Even though maybe it's not meeting what I need to get to where I need for my goal right now, I'm still eating more food than I was before. And um, the foods that I ate before were not good for me.
No, they were tasty, but you would then complain about being bloated or energy or what have you. And I do remember one time you'd sent me, you were sitting cross-legged and you sent me a picture, you were at work and you were eating and you were like, I'm eating a lot of food. And I remember and I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, but you're eating the right kinds of foods. You're fueling your body actually in the right way. And that's how you get more energy. That's how you start to feel
Yes.
better. So
Yes. So
yeah.
before I was limiting myself and eating the wrong foods, I guess. Yep.
And not necessarily just eating the wrong foods. It was like, hey, you were in the habit of a Friday night pizza every night, right? And you weren't even questioning that, oh, right? And then it was also just you were just falling into like the routines of everything, right? And then eventually it's like 50th birthday comes along and you're like, how come I don't feel the way I want to feel?
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Mm-hmm.
start questioning all those routines. And it isn't to say we got rid of all of them. It's to say that we changed a lot of them to fit into who you wanted and what you wanted, not necessarily someone else's plan. But you did have to have conversations in your family about how to negotiate things, right? Because there was the ice cream,
You
not
want
going.
to know an ice cream story? We all went and got ice cream, and instead of me getting ice cream, I have a lick of everybody else's.
Yeah. And I remember you having to have a conversation around that, just like, I want to have ice cream when I want to have ice cream. I don't want to have ice cream for the sake of like just having ice cream. Yeah. And that means that sometimes I'm going to have it, sometimes it's going to be a lick, and sometimes I don't want it. And
Yep,
we have to be okay with that but I don't want to be excluded from going for an ice cream trip, even if I don't want it.
correct. And I think I'm doing pretty good at finding that balance now.
Yeah. So in
Mhm.
terms of movement, because you had a well, we'll go to the current injury, but the previous injury, you had an injury before. And so movement for you was something really you were really fearful of because you didn't
Mhm.
want to become more injured. And so when with our coaching, yes, you lost weight, yes, you felt great. Like all these things happened as a result. But in terms of movement, you were swimming in your pool when the weather was good and you were getting your steps in at work. That's what we were doing for movement. Yeah, you had a lot of fear around moving your body because of that injury. And then we started incorporating just micro workouts to kind of get you. And then all of a sudden it was like, all the dumbbells are on sale at Canadian Tire. Should I go buy heavier dumbbells?
I did that. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's how we kind of like, so because I think a lot of women also think it has to be like, I have to figure out all this time to do all of this exercise. But for you, it was like we gradually built habits and gradually moved up through the process. It wasn't like day one, this is hardcore, this is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And absolutely important to see the results.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I don't have the results because I'm at a crossroads. But the weights are sitting in that room over there waiting to go.
Yeah. So towards the end, like, and also, let's go backtrack again, is that through our
Yep.
coaching journey, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't smooth. Your daughter got extremely sick where you were
Mm-hmm.
in and out of the hospitals a lot with her. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you were still healing and processing the death of your dad and taking care of his estate and some of the family dynamics that happened as a result of that. And
Yes.
then we got injured again at work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So talk about like having a coach through all that stuff.
I think I'm thankful for our Zoom call because when you have all that stress and you have life going on around you and you feel like, I've done all this for nothing and it's a dead end road right now, right? I think you helped me understand and see that it's not all or nothing. It really isn't. I got through the struggles and one at a time, and I'm still moving forward.
Yeah. And right now we're still dealing with an injury. The injury has flared up. And so right now the priority, like one, is too cold to get in the pool, but two, you're still getting in your steps. You're still focusing on nutrition. Even now you've been dabbling with more upper body workouts, because you have limited mobility elsewhere. So right now when you say you're at a crossroads, it's like, I got to get through rehab here first to then be able to get to this next position.
Yes. And struggling with that is hard for me right now because I have gotten to the weight that I want to be at where I'm comfortable. And I know I do need to gain some muscle. So I'm still not happy with where I'm at. And I just have to sit here right now. And that's frustrating. It's
Yeah.
frustrating.
I know because we've had lots of conversations about feeling really frustrated, right? But it's
Yeah,
not all or nothing. And how great is it that one, you have your nutrition foundation, you have your mindset already there. And then as soon as rehab is done, it's like now you're ready to add in that other piece versus trying to go through this and then figure out how to do all of the pieces together all at once.
correct. Yeah. I'm kind of sitting here and I know this next step is waiting for me. And it's
Yeah.
still an option. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of women have a fear of change, or fear of failing themselves, or fear of sabotaging themselves, or fear that the relationships around them are going to change. What would you say to that woman who's sitting in a place of fear?
I don't like change. Um, just do it. Change is good.
Just said the
Change,
woman who's afraid of fear or change.
it's true. Like it makes you get outside of that box, get outside of your comfort zone. And it is as fearful as I was to make change. I did it and it's all okay. It's good. It's better than good.
Yeah.
It's progress.
Yeah. So how do you feel now? We're 50. How we feel besides the injury, how we feeling?
I'm 50. I'm still here. I'm still alive. There was no black hole. Um, I set some goals. I accomplished them. I feel good with my decisions. I feel good at 50. There's still more to come, and it'll come.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, any advice, any lasting advice you'd like to leave someone who's kind of sitting on the fence in terms of making a change or jumping into coaching, whatever that looks like? They're just sitting on a fence.
Choose the other side. Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. I actually said it to, I think it must have been a mother and a daughter yesterday, and she was like, you're kind of sitting here, I'm available to help you tomorrow all day if you need me. Just let me do it for you, right? And I walked about 10 steps forward, and there was this light bulb that went off in my head, and I turned around like, yeah, just do it. So 80 years old, 50 years old, just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
there's always an opportunity for you to feel good. And it doesn't matter.
Yes.
I mean, it does matter, but I mean, other people will always have opinions. Always.
Yes.
But only you know at your core, your true of true, what you want to feel like and what you need for yourself. And that can be tricky to navigate in a world that makes you feel guilty for taking time for yourself or that don't
Hmm.
understand it. But you're a walking example of that.
Hmm.
Until she's really uncomfortable. Yeah. Well, look, I think like it's great when women can share stories like this because it's more relatable. Some woman is going to watch this and they're going to say like, she's me. That's me. That's how I'm feeling. So I always appreciate when women can enter into the vulnerable space to share their story because then the
Hmm.
are that it's going to resonate, land, or inspire someone else to try to make the
Hmm.
change. And then that's how we create kind of the snowball. So thanks a lot, Tanya, for joining us. I almost did it, for joining us and then sharing your story.
Thank you.